Welcome to Geekzilla versus Mecha-Geekzilla, the Geek Show live right here on K4U.
I like that title.
I'm glad you like it. Don't interrupt me. I'm your host, Shawn Hilton, founder of the Kokomo Con and owner of Comics Cubed. I am here with Mike Harrison, my co-pilot, the howling Mad Murdoch to my Hannibal. That's an A-Team reference.
I'm more of a face. Let's be honest. I'm more.
We have some instant viewer mail.
But I'm more.
Whoa.
I'm more like face than howling Mad Murdoch.
That's a piece of paper right there.
You actually took the time.
Hey, comic geeks! Long-time viewer, first-time writer. I just wanted to thank both of you for your continued efforts to provide Kokomo and the rest of the world with a geeky alternative to CNN. Mike, you are no Dirk Benedict.
It doesn't say that.
Says, Mike, you are no Dirk Benedict. You bring a lot to the show's feel, very similar to what Cookie does for Bozo or what Odie does for Garfield. But you're not fit to wear Dirk Benedict's smirk on his worst day.
That hurts.
His Lieutenant Starbuck was a groundbreaking salute to the lovable scoundrel that he became to all of us in his acting persona, and is taking on the face man as Templeton Peck in the A-Team, schooled an entire generation of actors and influencing the careers of Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Mike, you're great, but you're no Dirk Benedict. Sincerely, Leandra McCord. P.S. You're predictable.
You know what that is? You know what that is? That's the number of times you mispronounced the letter that you wrote yourself.
What are you talking about? Leandra McCord wrote that letter.
Whatever, go ahead.
Instant geek mail. So, it's okay. So today on the Geek Show, we're going to talk about some comics, and we're going to talk about the brand new show from Sci-Fi Channel called Defiance. But first up, Age of Ultron from Marvel Comics continues to set some records, has an amazing pace of action, drama, death, intrigue, all those wonderful things that we love so much about in comic books. And Mike, I know that you had a second to read this particular comic book featuring Marvel's most nefarious AI, Ultron. Tell us about it.
Well, it's pretty good. I'm really happy with this crossover. Although they're not.
Look at the camera.
They're not doing the expansion crossovers like appearing in every other title. But for a summer event, they've done well with making it come out more than once a month. I enjoy that because it's still fresh in your mind when you read the next issue. This one, it had a kind of an oh crap moment last month.
Holy crap!
This month had kind of the same. The predictable aspect of it being Wolverine's going to go back in time and kill Hank Pym, and
Snicky Schnick.
He does,
Or did he?
Well, he kills him. I think he killed him pretty good. Killed him until he was dead, I think.
He killed him until he was dead?
Yeah.
Now, Sue Storm.
Yep.
She sat by.
She struggled with it though.
She did.
She's definitely the moral compass in that group
turmoil.
of people, and the reason she didn't go in the first group and stayed back in the second group because she knew that Wolverine or somebody would go ahead and do that anyway, so and was going to try to stop him.
If you'd been in the position of Sue Storm,
would I kill
who's
Hitler?
Just lost her husband, her brother, her best friend, her 2 children, and you're given this option to possibly terminate the life, you're a superhero, of the person who brought around the greatest of evils. What does Mike Sue Storm Harrison do?
A, no one's ever called me Mike Sue Storm Harrison, and
I just did though, so that's not true.
And 2, I hope they never do again.
All right, well that might be true, but the first part's definitely not true.
The thing with this particular moral dilemma is it's not kill this guy so a few people don't get killed. This is kill this guy so the world isn't wiped out. Okay, the argument being, well, okay, if you kill Hank Pym, he was an Avenger. He took place in many, many things that were world-changing.
Hank Pym created Ultron.
But there's nothing left. They are at their Armageddon. So to me, you do it because there isn't a whole lot that could be worse than what's going on right now.
I really like the Armageddon movie. The music and everything that went with Aerosmith.
I don't like Aerosmith.
What did Aerosmith ever do to you?
They didn't do anything to me.
If they were doing the soundtrack to the Armageddon, would you buy that soundtrack?
I'm allowed not to like them. Let's move on.
All right. Next up today, we're going to talk about the Justice League of America. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Just Justice League, because Justice League of America is now a new book unto itself. So, with Justice League rolling out with issue 19, you were the sole reader of this one. I backed off, because this was a what the F moment, standing for fornication of some sort.
Talk about those covers real quick, and I'll talk about the book.
DC is currently doing a month-long series of covers featuring a what the F moment. And they actually have used this as a real ploy to bring in some readers. And the idea is that every single book has some amazing, mind-blowing, holy crap moment, and they put that featured on the cover. Now, some of these amazing moments have included Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, finding out that she may have to kill her brother. The same brother who, if you've read the previous issues, has tried to kill her mother, tried to kill her father, tried to kill her, sold her out to the Joker, is a homicidal maniac, serial killer, and their big oh my god moment is, what if she has to kill him? Well, yeah, every issue is, what if somebody has to do something like that? That's really not that big a deal. Batman did one where it was, what the F is
Bruce Wayne's greatest enemy.
Bruce Wayne's greatest enemy. You flip it over, it's Jim Gordon, Commissioner Gordon, except you find out, spoiler, later it's not Jim Gordon, it was one of his enemies known as Clayface, who's a shapeshifter.
It was actually, the Bruce Wayne was Clayface.
Was a shapeshifter?
Yeah.
All right, so.
But it's still same aspect.
Yeah, so.
And you kind of get the same thing in this. When you have the book, it's from here over, and that's your cover. When you flip it open, you see who's got Superman down on the ground, and it's Batman with
what the F?
With some kryptonite. Now the truth is that scene does not appear in this book. What happens is somebody breaks into the Batcave, steals Batman's just-in-case box for Superman, and but that's all that happens. You still haven't seen any kind of confrontation.
Not infect him.
First thing you see, one of my favorite parts about this book is leading up to what's probably going to be called some type of Trinity crossover, or Trinity event.
The Trinity War.
You see a real big, or not a real big, you see a very good scene between Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, in which they talk real life, what's going on, what you guys are doing, and how it affects the world and how it affects the League, and that's good writing right there. But the rest of it didn't really have much to do with what you see on the cover there.
So it was a bait and switch again.
Yes, absolutely.
I have been very unimpressed with their whole what the F, the whole ploy, the whole gimmick is. It's overdone. It's mostly editorial. It's the guys who are telling this thing, telling writers what they have to do.
Right.
So the writers, I think most of them are half-heartedly just throwing something out there to keep some interest. But overall, a weak ploy. I don't think it's working. I don't think anybody's been interested. And
although this was a good issue, I liked it.
The issue was good, but not because of the what the F moment.
No.
All right. Also up, we've got a book called Bodie Troll. We're going to go a little out of order because we're going to talk about Five Ghosts, but we're running out of time. So it's Bodie Troll time.
Okay.
Bodie Troll is, and you didn't read this, but we only got 2 copies. An all-ages independent book. Independent book means it wasn't made by Marvel or DC. It's a small, little, tiny company. All ages means that it's kid-friendly. And the idea is that Bodie Troll here is an incredibly ferocious troll, except he's cute and fuzzy and doesn't scare anybody. So the premise is...
Kind of like you.
I'm cute and fuzzy? Thank you, Mike.
You don't scare anybody.
But I'm cute and fuzzy.
Continue with the review.
I think we need to talk about the cute and fuzzy. Regardless, the idea is Troll lives in and near a town. They play up even the very opening of him is dealing with the whole Billy Goats crossing the bridge and him coming out and doing the whole thing. Great dialogue, very witty. This is the kind of book that, whereas it's all ages, most of the time those kids' books are not interesting for an adult at all. You're going to either read it to the kid or the kid's going to read it. No adult's going to care whatsoever. This is very crossover friendly. It's going to be something that a parent can read and they're going to be entertained. You have kids, so you would know what that's about. Sure. But a kid's also going to be entertained. It does kind of that Shrek kind of a thing where the whole audience can get something out of it. Okay. There's enough jokes and whatnot that work in a manner that will appeal to everybody. So I was very happy with it. A guy named Jay Foskett is the creator, writer, and artist. You know him. You've seen him in Mini Artist Alley. He did a thing called Dead Duck. Very comical and whatnot. He's pretty popular, I think, on the Artist Alley scene at conventions. So, big fan. You didn't get a chance to check it out, but I saved a copy.
Oh, great.
Just so you get a chance to read
Jay
Foggett's Bodie Troll.
Okay. I can't wait.
Fosgett. I apologize. You were supposed to fix that, but...
I didn't read the book, so I wouldn't know what his name is.
All right.
I enjoy it. Believe me, if I get an opportunity to correct you, I'm going to. I just didn't.
Right.
I'm not.
Back to that Five Ghosts thing you saw really quick.
Sure.
Super action adventure pulp by a guy named Barbier and Mooneyham. One of the best books I've read this entire year. Absolutely love it.
I read
Indiana
the first
Jones.
issue. I liked it a lot. I have the second one. I haven't read it yet, but I look forward to it.
Good
and
stuff.
I'd really like to know who Zhang Guo is.
You'll get a chance in the second issue.
All right.
All right, well, we're going to take a second to fix some technical stuff, tell you about Kokomo, maybe sell you some toys, maybe a car, and let you know about the upcoming changes that'll be coming to the Geek Show. So stay tuned, watch whatever it is you're about to watch, and come back.
Since 1948, Haynes Community Federal Credit Union has been here to lend money and serve the folks of our community. If you need a loan, a shopper loan to get ready for the holidays and help old Santa out, a home equity loan for large purchases, or if you need to refinance your mortgage or get a new mortgage loan, stop into Haynes Community Federal Credit Union, 1801 South Park Road in Kokomo, and let's see how we can help you. Check us out on the web at haynesfcu.org. Member NCUA.
Great deals on great cars. You should check it out. So don't wait. The really big spring event is happening now at Honda. Going on now only at Kokomo Auto World. It's a world of autos. With unmatched standard features, Hondas hold more of their value than any other brand. And now get leases from $209 a month. $209 a month. Don't miss the really big spring event at Kokomo Auto World, west of US 31 on South the Fountain, or KokomoAutoWorld.com.
At Indiana University Kokomo, get a world-class IU degree. With the best degree programs, the best campus life, and the best value.
It's a private school feel at a public school cost. And we're starting new traditions. This is IU Kokomo. And this is my campus.
Welcome back to Geekzilla versus Mecha-Geekzilla, where we've had some time to talk about some things and get a little more serious here. Turns out that one of our favorite characters, Merle from The Walking Dead, has passed away, zombified, killed, zombified, then re-killed again by his brother. But have no fear, because the actor Michael Rooker, who plays him, has gone on to greener pastures, or bluer pastures. Mike! Fill us in.
Well,
Camera.
we've talked many times about this upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and mostly a lot now because the casting is really taking shape. We talked about Batista being Drax. We talked about Chris Pratt being Vance Astro, Star-Lord, which I think
Vance Astro.
Vance Astro is an older one, you're right. The latest casting. And we got the other one too. Gamora got cast.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting news for once.
Yeah.
What hot, amply shaped young lady will be playing Gamora?
I can't remember her name.
All right.
She is.
We'll ask new producer man to look that up while you tell us about Michael Rooker's new job.
Uhura from the new Star Treks.
Oh, she is yummy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For some reason, her name is.
She was also in The Losers.
Yes.
She's really good in that.
The newest one, though, is Michael Rooker is going to be a character called Yondu, which isn't in the current incarnation of the Guardians, was in the previous or maybe the first incarnation. He's kind of a hunter, uses a bow, uses a sword, and also has a mystic element to him as well. Blue skin and I think some kind of red mohawky thing on his head.
Got a fin.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how he's going to fit in, if he'll be prominent or if he'll just be kind of a side character, but Rooker will be in that. And the thing is, and that looks like a pretty physical character to be, and Rooker isn't a physical guy necessarily. He's
bulky.
He's bulky, but he's also nearly 60 years old. So I don't see him doing a lot of physical work himself. Then the other thing I wanted to mention real quick was for the new Cat movie coming out real quick, Winter Soldier.
Take time.
Well, Winter Soldier, they revealed his costume, or at least a costume in the movie, because in the first one he went through 3 costumes. That looks like the kind of the black and white with a star that you see in Secret Avengers. Much more, they make it much more evident that he's acting as a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. or an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. in this, rather than just America's Star-Spangled Hero.
Before we move on, I want to backtrack a little bit here. I know we're on time, but. Yondu. Back to the Michael Rooker thing. Here's a situation. The character in the book he was created like, I want to say, probably in the early 70s. Sure. He looks goofy. He is not an interesting looking character other than just bright blue dude and a mohawk that's actually a giant fin on his head. Sure. I mean, he doesn't look interesting or cool. So I think this is a situation where, what do? We as comic fans love it when you stay true to the source material. But what happens when even I, as a comic fan, say, the character looks really stupid?
Correct.
what's the compromise? Because with Captain America, and this is why I say it feeds back, they changed up his costume to be costume. It's still costume. It's not the traditional Captain America costume from the comics that we know now, but it's still a semblance. There's homages being paid. It's a costume. Right. But what happens when you have a guy who's just a blue skin, red striped dude who's got a bow who looks, well, stupid? Right. What do we as fans do? What's the compromise?
It's tough because the movie makers feel like they need to pay not pay homage necessarily, but to honor the fans, and they're so invested in these characters. Two other modern examples are the Falcon uniform is not all red and white. If they got the feeling from testing that they did, it would look more like a Vegas showgirl than anything else when you put it in live action. And then another photo that was just leaked out or put out there this week was Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Jamie Foxx.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but you're not going to see the yellow lightning bolts sticking out of his head. They're going with the Ultimate Spider-Man, where he's blue and got some lightning bolt scars maybe. Kind of looks more like Mr. Freeze than Electro, but that's the way they were going to go.
Almost makes me wonder if some of the Ultimate characters aren't being specifically designed so that they can eat their cake and have it too. Right. We're going to make updated versions of all the characters that are going to be a little more realistic and look better on the screen, and we can still tell fans, whoa, we did use the Vision. We did, in fact, do exactly what the costume is supposed to be with very minor tweaks. Right. That way they get away, because Electro was another one. Right. You know, I love Electro, but he's a guy in a green skin-tight suit with giant lightning bolts coming out of his head. He looks like a daffodil or something. So, all right, this week we both got a chance to watch Sci-Fi's brand new big money drama.
They really put a lot of money, a lot of airtime, a lot of advertising into this show.
Defiance.
Right. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it quite a bit. I noticed one name right off the bat before we even got into the show, Rockne S. O'Bannon, I believe, Australian gentleman who is going to be familiar with people. He created Alien Nation, or was a writer on Alien Nation. I believe created DSV, had a hand in the latest V, but I think the wing I know him most from, he was writer/creator, I believe, of Farscape, which has very similar makeup styles for what I saw in Defiance. Very, very Star Trek, and the fact that all your aliens look on a humanoid body. Gotcha. It's obviously practical effects. Right. They're able to be applied to an actor and allow them to still emote, see. You get a sense, no matter what they've done to them, that if they cry, you could see them crying. Right. If they're laughing, you can see them laughing. Overall, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I think we talked earlier before we came on, so there's some CG problems that kind of bugged me in non-CG related areas.
They don't need it.
Spaceships look fine. Right. Aliens look fine. A CG element where a car does a fishtail. You CG'd
just a regular car.
A regular car fishtailing, and it looked horrible.
Yeah, it did look bad.
I don't get that whatsoever.
I'm not really sure what they were doing there.
But the basic idea of this is that a bunch of aliens all at once, like, either invaded, showed up. I don't think we get an exact story of what happened, but several different alien species now, very much like an Alien Nation thing, interacting with human society, coming down, big war between everybody. The planet gets really, really messed up. I don't know if it's apocalyptic to the point where it's unlivable.
It must be, because there are mountains, big mountains surrounding St. Louis now. I don't think there were before, but now there are. Now St. Louis and the Ark is surrounded on all sides by mountains.
All right.
I liked it too. I'm definitely going to give it a second and third episode just to make sure. But it's getting a lot of criticism for people saying that it's not as good as Firefly, or it's trying to be Firefly, and I completely disagree. I don't think it's in any way Firefly-esque. And Firefly was lightning in a bottle. You're not going to catch that again. But it was also small, intimate stories about the characters. This is 5 different alien races, excuse me, and how they coexist in this one area. This more reminded me of like a DS9 than anything, because episode 1, you've got all these races all together coexisting, and you're being told what this one does, what this one does, what this one's cast is, who does what part. It reminded me a lot more of that. This town in the middle of nowhere is kind of a way station, where I'm guessing, for people coming and going, races coming and going, characters coming and going, and that's what it reminded me of. And I didn't particularly like DS9, although I know it's a favorite of a lot of Trek fans. So I'm looking forward to it. I didn't necessarily like this main character too much as an actor. I mean, he got some good lines. He got some good script to work with. He doesn't have, to me, he doesn't have so far the personality that I would like to see with that character. He's not charismatic enough. But I liked Julie Benz. How do you not like Julie Benz as a mayor? Or I actually would have liked to seen her change with her sister, so Julie Benz was in the brothel instead of the sister, because I like to see more of Julie Benz. That says more about me than anything, though.
I love to disagree with you on so many different things, but for once I can't. DS9 is exactly what went through my head as I was watching it as well.
That's why I didn't say it when we talked earlier, because I figured you'd.
It really was. I mean, no, DS9 is exactly what we're looking at. Yeah. It feels like a melting pot of alien cultures and whatnot. So check it out. I think it's pretty good, and Mike agrees for once, so good show. But we got some changes coming up. We do have a new producer, man. We've got rid of Tim.
Well, I wouldn't say it that way.
He's kicked out.
I wouldn't say it that way.
He has been defiant, and he has been removed from the building.
That's not true.
It's okay. We actually liked him. He actually played along with Producer Man, whereas Ian, when we asked him, hey, for Producer Man,
he's like, no, it's going to be this way.
Yeah,
this is what we're doing.
He told us what we were doing.
Right.
We don't fear change.
Yeah.
We fear structure.
We'll see who's here next week, us or Ian.
So
that's how it goes.
There's going to be some changes. I believe we're going to do something next week where it'll be a guerrilla version of the show, because Ian's not going to tape it. Well, he refabs and fixes and takes us out of the studio, which Mike's not comfortable with.
Well, we'll see.
We're going to go out and about and tape stuff at gazebos and children's fair.
I don't know about that.
We're going to be reading comics at the farmer's market.
We will not be doing that.
We could.
No.
So in 2 weeks, we're going to have a new name. I believe we're going to have a legit name. We don't know what the name is
yet.
A
permanent name. And if anybody has any suggestions on a good permanent name, we make a joke out of making up a new name every single week. Every week we have a new name for this show.
And not a good joke.
We can't call it the Geek Show because there's already a Geek Show out there. And we'd like to make this thing a little bit bigger. So if somebody comes up with a great name, please let us know.
Also, sponsors. We need some money. So give us your money.
Not us personally. We don't get a dime of it, but to help keep the show
Thanks for watching the last episode of the Normal Geek Show. Good day. Goodbye. We love you. Mike, say goodbye.